He taught men how to cheat without getting caught. So I pretended to be the perfect wife until the day I dropped a lunchbox and ended his entire career. I was casually scrolling through social media when a trending post caught my eye. The caption read, "How to cheat without your wife ever suspecting." I almost swiped past it, but something about it made me stop. The top comment had more likes than the post itself. It read, "Just confess on April Fool's Day and wish her a fun day. She'll think it's a joke and won't question a thing." What made me freeze was the attached image, a screenshot of a text conversation. Somehow it looked eerily familiar. I tapped it open and my blood ran cold. It was a chat between me and my husband, Ethan. The message in the screenshot was word for word something he had sent me a while ago. My fingers clenched tightly around my phone as my palms turned icy cold. Ethan and I have been married for 5 years. We've always had what people would call a stable marriage. I work from home as a food content creator, and my videos pull in decent traffic. Honestly, I make just as much as Ethan, if not more. Our neighbors often tell me how lucky I am to have married such a sweet, dependable man. And up until that moment, I believed them. But now, I wasn't so sure. I clicked on the profile of the person who posted the comment and saw a cropped profile photo of a man in a tailored navy suit. It only showed part of the cuff, but I knew that suit. It was the custom one I had secretly splurged on for Ethan as a 5-year anniversary gift. He never knew how expensive it was. I kept scrolling through the page, and what I found felt like a knife twisting deeper into my gut. Post after post titled things like, "How to lie to your wife like a pro," or "Tips to hide your affair without getting caught." Each tip was shockingly familiar. Phrases and tricks Ethan had used on me. My hands trembled and my stomach churned. My phone slipped from my grasp, crashing onto the top of my foot. I winced in pain, but I didn't know if it was from the impact or from the realization of who I had been married to all these years. Tears streamed down my face. I couldn't believe Ethan had been cheating on me, and doing it so confidently, so carefully, for so long. I quickly took screenshots of every post I could. As I was saving the last one, I heard the sound of a message notification coming from inside the house. I followed it to Ethan's tablet on the nightstand. It was unlocked after I typed in his birthday. That tablet, the one he always said was just for work emails, suddenly became a treasure trove of filth. The first message I saw was from a girl with a cartoon cat as her profile picture. "Ethan, are you still coming over tonight? I'm wearing that cute little nightie you picked out." She even sent a suggestive photo along with it. My entire body went cold. Ethan replied almost immediately, "On my way as soon as I finish up at work, baby. I can't wait any longer." A second later, a message popped up on my phone from Ethan's main account. "Hey babe, I've got to go fishing with my boss tonight. Might be home late. I'll bring you back something fresh." The sheer audacity made my stomach tighten into knots. The world started spinning, and before I knew it, I was hunched over the trash can, dry heaving. Once I pulled myself together, I went back to the tablet and scrolled further. There were photos, dozens of them. Different women, different nicknames. Some of them looked recent, while others must have been from months ago. A few seemed to have been ghosted. Probably got boring, so he moved on to fresher bait. The girl with the cartoon cat avatar? Yeah, she was definitely the current obsession. I could feel the rage bubbling inside me, but I forced myself to stay calm. I backed up every bit of data from the tablet to a flash drive, organizing it meticulously. Then, I sent Ethan a message. "Make sure you stay warm tonight, my love." I wanted him to feel safe, unsuspecting. He had no idea that the moment I found the truth, I had already made up my mind, not just to leave him. That would have been too easy. No, I wanted him to lose everything. Slowly, painfully. As I was about to double-check the chat history, a notification popped up. "This account has been logged out." He must have realized I was still logged into a backup account on his device. But then I saw something that made my blood boil. Ethan had posted a new message in that same cheating group. "Told my wife I went fishing. She thinks I'm after trout, but I've already caught a mermaid in bed." Attached were screenshots of his texts with me, and a photo of that same girl in lingerie, sprawled across what I now realized was his office desk. The comments beneath the post were disgusting. "Legend, man's got game. keeping the side chick and the wife. This guy's a pro. Ethan even liked the comment from someone named Brad. Tried your trick last week. Works like a charm. Still in bed with my baby girl while the wife thinks I'm at a business dinner. I leaned back and laughed, cold and sharp. The more smug Ethan felt, the sweeter his fall would be. The first thing I did the next morning was schedule a full blood panel. Who knows what kind of diseases he could have brought home from his little escapades? My health came first now. On the way to the clinic, I checked out Brad's profile, the guy who had followed Ethan's playbook. At the bottom of his feed, I saw a family photo. Wife, young daughter, and him smiling like a proud dad. That face triggered something. A month ago, in my cooking community, a woman named Natalie had raved about how her husband and child loved the recipe she'd made from one of my videos. Her name clicked instantly. Natalie. The same woman whose husband was now bragging about cheating online. I found her profile in our cooking group and sent her a friend request. My fingers hesitated over the keyboard. Then I messaged her. Hi. I need to talk to you about something. It's important. The AC in the taxi was blasting, freezing my hands until they trembled as I typed. I hesitated. Would telling Natalie the truth completely destroy her marriage? Her daughter was still just a toddler. Could she survive the fallout? Could either of them? But her reply came quickly, surprisingly cheerful. Oh my God, I can't believe my favorite food blogger just messaged me. I'm freaking out. Whatever it is, I'm here for you. Her enthusiasm made me hesitate even more. She didn't deserve what was coming. But after a long breath, I hit send. I had already drafted the message. I discovered a friend's husband is cheating on her. I'm torn on whether I should tell her. I stared at the typing notification for what felt like forever. I was so tense I didn't even realize the driver was watching me through the rearview mirror. Ma'am, he said gently. Don't worry too much. I'm sure your family's going to be all right. He turned down the AC with a warm smile. That tiny kindness almost broke me. Then the reply came. If it were me, I'd want to know. Some things can't be forgiven. That was all I needed. I told her everything. I didn't sugarcoat it. I told her that the friend in question was actually me. There was a long pause. No typing, no reply, just silence. By then, we had pulled up to the clinic. The driver offered a few kind words as I stepped out, but I barely heard him. I was too caught in the storm inside my chest. Sitting in the waiting area, waiting to get my blood drawn, my nerves were frayed, my mind in chaos. Then, ding, her message. What if we got revenge together? I smiled, a real smile. For the first time since this nightmare began, she knew she had put the pieces together, probably saw the group post I had reshared. And now she wasn't just hurt, she was ready to fight. The next morning, Ethan came home with a tired, smug little grin on his face, dragging his fishing gear behind him. Didn't catch anything, he sighed dramatically, nestling his head into my neck like some wounded puppy. But I promise I'll get you a big one next time. I smiled and ran my fingers through his messy hair. That's okay, honey. Maybe next time you can try a new spot. He beamed, clearly thinking I had bought the lie. Go wash up, I told him. I made you some restorative soup. You stayed up all night, you need to replenish. While he showered, I wiped down everywhere he had touched me. Then I carefully took a picture of the steaming pot on the stove and sent it to Natalie. Herbal tonic stew is ready. How's your end? She replied with the exact same message. Let the payback begin, sweetheart. Ethan drank the entire bowl of stew without a second thought. Soon after, I saw it in his eyes. His body felt off. Maybe he thought it was exhaustion from a night of fishing. Maybe he was actually getting sick. Either way, all he wanted was to collapse in bed. Before heading into the bedroom, he kissed my cheek and dropped onto the mattress like dead weight. He was out cold in seconds. Once I heard his snoring, I calmly walked into the room, unlocked his phone using his fingerprint, and installed the syncing software. It was an app my friend from college, a cybersecurity nerd, had customized for me. It let me mirror Ethan's phone content directly to mine in real time. Every message, every photo, every notification. Natalie replied almost immediately once I told her the app was working. Now the fun begins, she texted, followed by a devil emoji. I couldn't stop smiling. I had never felt this powerful in my life. From that day on, I paused my content uploads and told my followers I was taking a break for personal reasons. They didn't need to know the truth, that I had more important things to do than film recipes. My full-time job now was making sure Ethan paid for every filthy secret he thought he had gotten away with. A week later, I decided to bring Ethan lunch at his office. As I stepped into the building, I was stunned to come face to face with Natalie. We had video chatted before, but seeing her in person was different. Elegant, poised, and warm, the complete opposite of what her scumbag husband deserved. "I was going to send your lunch up with a delivery guy," she said gently, "but figured I'd bring it myself this time." As we stepped into the elevator, I learned something else. Our husbands worked at the same firm. What were the odds? She got off on a mid-level floor, and as the doors closed again, I continued to the top. Just before entering Ethan's department, a young woman stepped in my way. She looked tense, almost confrontational. "Who are you, and why are you entering this area?" Her tone was sharp, but her eyes gave her away. She knew exactly who I was. She wasn't asking because she didn't know. She was testing me. I didn't respond right away. Instead, I tried to remember what Ethan had once mentioned. There had been a girl he claimed he broke things off with because I found out, someone named Chloe. That was it. And this must be her. A familiar-looking employee came rushing over, nervously chuckling as he pulled Chloe aside. "She's Ethan's wife." Sorry, she's new and didn't know." "Chloe," I repeated in my head, locking that name in. As I walked into Ethan's office, he was staring intensely at some paperwork. When he saw me, he didn't even stand up. "Babe, why are you here?" "I brought you lunch," I cooed sweetly. "Didn't want you eating junk food and wrecking your stomach." He chuckled awkwardly, clearly flustered. Every time I moved even slightly closer, I could see the tension ripple through him. It was delicious. I leaned on his desk, teasing a little, then backed off just before things got too uncomfortable for him. "Be sure to eat it all, okay? It's full of vitamins, good for the body." I winked. As I left, I heard him whisper behind me, "Jesus, I almost pissed myself." I sat at the cafe just across the street from Ethan's office, sipping an iced coffee with Natalie while watching the mirrored messages on my phone roll in. Then, another notification. Ethan had posted again in the same disgusting group. I tapped it open, jaw clenched. "Wife brought lunch to the office while I was sneaking around with my side chick." The thrill, man. I waited for her to leave and then got right back to work, if you know what I mean. Best part? She even made me a recovery stew. She's totally under my control now. Attached was a blurred photo of a woman sprawled on his desk, red marks on her skin, panties barely hanging on, the same cartoon avatar girl from earlier, and the comments, even worse than before. "King behavior. Dude's untouchable. Just tried this with my wife. Worked like a charm." I stared at the screen, unsure whether I wanted to throw up or punch something. I couldn't even decide who I pitied more, Ethan for being so shameless, or that girl for letting herself be used and humiliated so publicly. Did she even know her body was being paraded around online like a trophy? Beside me, Natalie stayed calm, borderline amused. I finally asked, "How are you not furious?" She took a slow sip of her drink. "It's not that I'm used to it. I just realized they've handed us the perfect opportunity on a silver platter." "What do you mean?" "My marriage was never about love. It was business, merging two families for power and profit, but he gave me a reason to cut him loose, legally, emotionally, publicly, and I won't waste it. Don't worry, our plans won't get in each other's way." I studied her for a moment, calm, calculated, brilliant. Who said women only cry when they're betrayed? I smirked and raised my glass toward her. "Looks like we're on the same page." That evening, Ethan came home smelling like cheap perfume and lies. I was in the kitchen, pretending to be the picture-perfect wife, wearing an apron, stirring another batch of my restorative stew. He wrapped his arms around me from behind, burying his face in my neck. "Babe, I missed you today." His cologne mixed with some woman's fruity body spray made my stomach churn, but I managed to smile and lean into him. "You're home," I whispered. "I missed you too." Just then, my phone buzzed. Ethan froze for a split second, then quickly pulled away and flipped his own phone face down. He had no idea I could already see everything. "Babe," he said with that fake casual tone, "I've got a quick work thing to handle in the study. Just 10 minutes. As he disappeared into the other room, I opened my synced app. New message. "Ethan, the water's out at my place. Want to come over for a hot shower together? Along with a picture, just a towel, barely clinging to her body. He didn't hesitate, replied with a voice message, all breathy and disgusting. You missed me that much, huh? Thought I didn't leave you satisfied earlier? I hit play. His sleazy tone made my skin crawl. Then he reappeared in the hallway. I quickly locked my phone. There's a coworker nearby, he said with an awkward smile. Her apartment's having plumbing issues. She asked if she could shower here. You don't mind, right? That excuse was so lazy it almost made me laugh out loud. Our building used a centralized system. There was no way only one unit had water issues. But I smiled sweetly. Of course, let her use the shower. I wanted to see how deep he'd dig his own grave.